Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world, known as the Pentaverate, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaverate?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up. Oh, I hated the Colonel with his wee beady eyes and that smug look on his face. Oh, you're gonna buy my chicken. Oh.
Dad, how can you hate the Colonel?
Because he puts an addictive chemical in his chicken that makes you crave it fortnightly, smart arse.
It's Two Dads, One Movie. It's the podcast where two middle-aged dads sit around and shoot the shit about the movies of the 80s and 90s. Here are your hosts, Steve Paulo and Nick Brianna. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Dads, One Movie. I'm Steve.
And I'm Nick.
And today we are talking about the 1993 Mike Myers cult classic, So I Married an Axe Murderer. This was my pick for us, and this is one of those movies that I think I definitely saw this not in the theater, not that early on, but like I was high school probably when I first saw it, and it kind of came and went. It was like I think it was maybe even like after Austin Powers came out, or I would have gone back to watch this kind of thing
when you're trying to complete the Mike Myers catalog.
Like I love Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2, and then Austin Powers like blew me away the first time I saw it, and then it was like, oh, he did this other movie, oh okay, and again like this is another one that for some reason I really feel like registered with theater kids, and so I feel like hit that. I think maybe it was the beat poetry stuff or something, whatever. So I remember watching it and enjoying it, but like not thinking much of it, just kind of like, okay, cool, that wasn't bad, like the kind of thing.
Right. This
I met my wife. We've been together, since 2005, I think at this point. So
nice.
21 years, and this is a huge movie for her. Like she loves this. Her and her dad used to like quote this movie back and forth to each other, and it like became like she's like we got the Piper Dune. Like it became like shorthand for, within her family. And so I was like, well, I guess I better watch it again, like whatever. And so watching with her a few times in my early 20s, it was like, oh, I get it now. It's like, it's something about like watching it with somebody that like was laughing at every weird little joke.
Yeah.
Made it like really hit for me. So it's become a movie that I absolutely adore, but it definitely didn't start that way. It took time and kind of the right viewing partner to really kind of latch me into it. So Nick, what's your history with Axe Murderer?
Yeah. So I told you before the pod that this is one kind of like you with, with like Bloodsport or certain ones we've talked about in the past where in your head, you're like, oh yeah, I've definitely seen this before.
Like I know that movie. I know
because you
all
know
about
stuff from it. You would understand references about it. And then when I watched this, I'm like, dude, I don't know if I have watched this entire thing all the way through before. I knew a lot of the jokes, like, same as you, like friends would quote certain things. Like it's a fun voice to do. The dad, the Scottish voice. I'm actually psyched to be doing this pod with you because you were the king of voices, and this is good. Other than Stallone, this might be like one of the best voices we have on the podcast. So yeah, I knew it from friends, and I think I definitely dipped in and seen parts of it. Probably like the phenomenon of the pregame movie.
Okay.
Like we talked about, put something on and then we're going to go out to the bars where we have all these movies where I am so familiar with the first half hour of it, but I couldn't tell you how it ends.
Okay.
So this might be one of those where it was like on early because there's chunks of it that I knew. But yeah, watching it through, I'm like, oh, this is my first complete viewing, I think.
Okay, that's all right. Well, I think that's a good thing. Hopefully you enjoyed your time. We'll get into it, obviously, and find out exactly whether you enjoyed your time with the movie or not. But let's jump into the facts and get this stuff out of the way, the basics and all that on So I Married an Axe Murderer. The film was released on July 30th, 1993 with a PG-13 rating and a running time of 93 minutes. Directed by Thomas Schlamme and written by Robbie Fox. The movie stars Mike Myers, Nancy Travis, and Anthony LaPaglia. Scores, not particularly great, but also not like bottom of the barrel. We got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is rotten. They don't give you that fresh whole tomato icon until you hit 60%. That's sort of the threshold there. So it is essentially
you have to get a D minus.
Yeah, you do. You got to at least get that D minus to pass the class. This is a fail, but close. It was a good effort, I think maybe most of the Rotten Tomatoes critics are saying. Similarly, IMDb a 6.5, which is like well below the 7 that kind of marks a good movie, but above, we've seen some with like 4s and 5s as their rating, and that's pretty
It's
bad.
Not a Halloween 3 season.
Yeah, exactly. And then Siskel and Ebert, 2 thumbs thumbs down from Siskel and Ebert on this movie. There were no like awards, anything that I could find. Certainly nothing listed on the IMDb page, which is what I usually use as the source of truth. And maybe partly because on a $20 million budget, which like none of the actors in this movie earned much money. Like, there's no way, right? Because Myers was not a draw yet. Like, I mean, really.
Yeah, unless they had to give him something because of the popularity of Wayne's World. But it is
Probably
like
a little.
He wasn't like a huge star yet.
It was this came out the same year as Wayne's World 2, I think. I can't remember exactly. It was 91, 92, 93 is like all these movies kind of together. So he definitely hadn't like blown up in that sense.
For sure.
But he did get to play 2 roles. I'm sure under SAG rules probably means you get more money, I suppose. Where the hell did $20 million go? Like, this just doesn't look like a $20 million movie at all.
Did they hire a very like Shel Silverstein as the poetry consultant or something like
this?
Did
the Claremont in Berkeley charge them a ton of money to film the exterior? Like, it's bizarre.
You don't really see it that much. And it's just like, definitely I would like a line item audit of this budget because I don't really buy it.
This and Troop Beverly Hills. I need to see exactly where all the money went. Okay. Unfortunately, the box office did not do well. It earned $11.5 million. That's 0.58 times what it cost. Obviously a huge flop when it comes to the box office numbers. I understand, Nick, you might have a couple of additional points to bring up here.
Yeah. So I was just like learning a little bit about this movie and the production because it definitely seem to me like it's different than other Mike Myers stuff that we saw, where a lot of it is like these self-created characters that he has.
Right.
And he definitely had influence on this film, but it wasn't like originally made for him. Yeah. So this is based on a script that had been kind of going around since the 80s, written by this Robbie Fox guy who gets credit for writing. Yeah. And it was supposed to be more of like a New York City, like Jewish comedian axe murderer thing. It was described as like a Woody Allen meets Hitchcock kind of situation. Okay. And they talked about like Billy Crystal and Gary Shandling and Albert Brooks and stuff starring in this.
Wow.
But of course, like over the years, it gets moved so much and it ends up being one of those scripts that's like, we got to do something with this. We haven't been able to attach anyone to it. And they finally get Mike Myers involved and there's all these changes, you know, obviously the Scottish thing, that's like his thing. So they're changing the origin and the city and stuff. But I guess despite all this, the original writer still has like the sole writing credit, even though, you know, the scripts are vastly different. And then the other thing is that the director, Thomas Schlamme, and Mike Myers did not get along during this production. And, you know, at some point weren't speaking to each other. I've heard this about Mike Myers, that he is difficult.
Yes, I have heard the same thing,
And, you know, so that makes sense. But good on him for being difficult in his second movie.
I was going to say, that's balls. Like, if you told me Mike Myers got difficult after Austin Powers and then was slightly humbled by the Love Guru, I would have accepted that as a through line. But, like, to be ballsy and to be kind of like, you know, to be a prima donna on set at this stage in your career is like, bro.
It's really funny. It's like, I was in the Sprocket sketch. Do you know who the fuck I am? So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And it kind of, you know, like what it made certain things make sense in this movie. Because there are parts of it where you're like, oh, this is probably from a cobbled together thing. It's not like one idea from the brain of Mike Myers. So I thought that was some interesting stuff to start us off. So that's the facts. And you want to get us started off on the movie here, Steve?
Absolutely. So this starts off, this is kind of one of my favorite types of opening. It's actually very similar to a movie we saw a few weeks ago, The Birdcage, which starts off with We Are Family. I think that's it's not the Pointer Sisters. Who
Sister
is that?
Sledge.
Sister Sledge. Thank you. It was something like that. And then we fly over the ocean and into Miami and then on to Ocean Avenue in South Beach, right? Well, this is very similar. We start off with The Laws, There She Goes, a song we will hear not once more in this movie, but twice more after this. 3 whole times do we get this music cue. But we're sort of zooming in over the bay towards like the ferry building in San Francisco. Just beautiful. And obviously, you know, I grew up here. I know you've lived here a long time. And it's always fun to watch these movies where they're set in especially like a pre-tech boom San Francisco, right?
Yes.
Like sneakers and
For sure.
like Pacific Heights and stuff. And it's like, you know, you get this version of San Francisco that for some reason to me always feels much more Italian than what San Francisco is today. There's something just very Italian about San Francisco of like the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's that. So we're zooming in and we end up seeing a bunch of like kind of the San Francisco skyline. Well, the song plays, and then there's a cut. It doesn't go smoothly in, but we then cut to Rhodes Cafe, which is like a coffee shop and sort of poetry, jazz, nightclubby thing, but like very hipster, very early 90s, very anti-grunge. This feels like a group of people.
It is weird. Yeah, it is this like Gen X, like the non-grunge Gen X group, right?
Like the people in this movie and the people in Singles would have hated each other.
For sure.
Like they would not have gotten along at all.
They would have hated each other in the way that the guys in Swingers who had the gun confrontation in the parking lot hated each other. Like they'd be playing NHL, 92, I guess, in this movie. But yeah, it's like they don't know how similar they are, and the reasons they hate each other are so surface level. But yeah, they're totally agree with that. This place, Rhodes, is it's a real location in North Beach in San Francisco. It's called, or at least most recently was called the Vesuvio Cafe.
Oh, okay.
And it's still there.
Nice.
Because we definitely spotted this as somewhere we'd been before.
That was interesting. Yeah, I kind of was thinking that because I did not spend a lot of time in San Francisco in my 20s. A lot of people, who lived even out here in the East Bay would, but I would go to Oakland and I would spend more time in the East Bay growing up and not really go out to SF. But I thought to myself, man, this is the kind of place, like looking at it and seeing the people in it, I'm like, sure, I was 13 when this movie came out, so it wasn't exactly the target audience then. But 10 years after that, I absolutely would have been down to like hang in a place like this. Like,
what a cool fucking hang that place did look like. It is the Gen X version of the Foot Clan's secret lair in the Ninja Turtles movie, where it's like all skate ramps and free cigarette machines and stuff.
Fair.
This is like, this is what you do. Everyone's got interesting clothes and they fucking have stupid glasses, and we're drinking coffee and smoking, and like just seemed like a good ass time.
Absolutely. It always makes me think of like the way that the Emporium in Dazed and Confused fits Texas teenagers perfectly. This is that, but for San Francisco 20-somethings.
Yes.
And otherwise, they're perfect mirrors of each other. Right.
Right.
Okay, so we go and it's one of the second greatest, in my opinion, second greatest follow shot in the history of cinema is following this cappuccino cup. As we go. Of course, the best being Henry and Karen going into the Copa. Right. That's the best follow shot. But the second best is this cup of cappuccino making its way to the dishwasher, getting filled back up, and then getting out onto the floor and ending up in Mike Myers' hands. And this is Charlie McKenzie, who is our main character, our protagonist, our hero of our story. And he makes a couple of funny little jokes. I mean, funny, not funny. You can kind of like, it's Mike Myers. They're very Mike Myers jokes.
It's very Mike Myers.
Yes.
And there is a Mike Myers through line, and like any of his ridiculous characters, whatever accent he assigns to him, he has a certain type of like sarcastic humor that is like present here and is still present in probably Shrek 5.
Right, exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah, so he gets his cappuccino. I will say the hello thing does not fucking do it for me at all. I don't like it. And I feel like it infringes on your hello that you do at the beginning of this podcast. And I only have one hello guy in my life, Steve, and it's you.
Well, thank you so much. I actually ripped off a couple of fantasy football podcasters who, a combination of there's one guy who would start off and go like, hello, everybody. So I don't do that. I do a very toned down version of that. And then, what is it? Paul Scheer in for How Did This Get Made does hello people of Earth is how he starts.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
Mine is sort of like a similar, I'm obviously trying to greet the audience, but like my own way of doing it. But it's more about, I always think I've realized in hearing back our episodes, I go like, two dads, one movie. It's kind of like, I'm not sure what the hell's going on there. But
it's good, but you get a rhythm, and then in your head, that's just how it goes forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
and never change.
So sitting next to Charlie is his best buddy Tony, who is dressed like a pimp, most insane, like Huggy Bear. Yeah, like he says,
he's seriously dressed like he was one of the guys on VH1's The Pickup Artist.
Oh my god,
where they have these guys wear like fur hats and go like insult women until one of them gives them their phone number. Like he has this crazy look, but they do point it out, you know, and he is actually an undercover cop.
Here's the thing though.
Yeah.
Like I don't this strains credulity. Like the initial kind of joke of like he would wear that in 1993 and actually think he's being hip. Like it's so kind of unbelievable.
He's supposed to be clueless, right?
He is, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Like to me, it goes a couple of steps too far. But like you said, to the credit of the movie, the other character, Charlie, calls him out. Like, dude, you look like a moron. You look ridiculous, right? But he is dressed, fur and velvet.
Spirit Halloween Jamiroquai costume.
There you go.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly. There is a funny moment here where Tony's talking about how he asked Charlie about his girlfriend. Oh, we broke up, and you're going to do a poem about her. There's all this back and forth, but he asks him to like name why he dumped previous girlfriends, and Charlie gets down to one where he doesn't have anything better than she smelled like soup, which is something that always makes me laugh. She smelled exactly like vegetable soup, because that would be pretty gross.
Better than clam chowder, but yeah, still concerning.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
There's
not a good soup that you can just smell like, I think, and
unless there's some like ginger, like one of those healing like Eastern medicine soups that's almost like a medicine.
Maybe if I met somebody who smelled like chicken tortilla soup, I might not mind. That one sounds a little.
Ladies, work on your soup smells. So Charlie gets on stage to do his like beat poem and stuff. And this it's like not an open mic. It's clearly something that he's a regular at.
Yes.
People are like excited to see what he's
It's like a schedule thing. Like that's his slot to come up, because even the band, there's a jazz trio.
Right.
And they know kind of how to play to his beat or they play the same kind of tune. He does it too, but like the point is they've worked together clearly. Yes. This is not like a random rockyoki kind of thing or whatever, like a rockoroki, whatever they call that shit.
And he's got like a slideshow going on behind him too.
Yes.
So as he's going through his like, woman, whoa, man, which is funny. It's a funny like play on, the beat poetry, slam poetry style. Although there's not like a regular one really that it shows in this.
No, because
there's a guy who's like about to start, but then it doesn't really show his
we see this guy introed. He's got like curly red hair, and he talks about how this is a poem about the aliens who brought me on their ship and who I enacted great destruction upon while fleeing or whatever. And then it says autobiographical, and it's kind of like ha ha ha, but then we cut to the conversation between Charlie and Tony. We don't hear anything about that, but it's clear that he is far weirder than Charlie. So Charlie gets up there and it's almost like he is the like guy off the street for this crowd.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's like the normal one. So he does this poem about his ex-girlfriend. She stole his cat. That's he's convinced that she stole his cat. We then cut to the next day. And Charlie goes to a butcher called Meats of the World. And
is this a real type of store? Because I feel like that would be kind of an awesome place to browse.
Why wouldn't it be? Isn't that kind of what most butcher shops kind of are? I mean, in a sense. I mean, I guess what they wanted to do with this was say, it's a butcher, and they'd have haggis,
right?
Because that's going to be a rare.
So
thing
you're not going to have just a Scottish butcher. So if we made it a global thing,
I don't think anybody would buy that. In the United States, maybe Boston could have enough Scottish folks to like support like a full Scottish butcher.
Little Scotland in San Francisco.
I mean, it's just not,
the Glasgow district.
Like I said, Italians. There are a lot of Italians in the
90s. So Charlie's there, and he goes to pick up the haggis from the woman working at the butcher shop. Very cute, younger woman. Very busy. They're not really chatting too much.
No, so her name's Harriet.
Little connection.
This time she's actually not that busy. This one, I don't think there's anybody else in the shop. This time, they're just chatting a little bit. But there's like a flirtatiousness. But neither of them, really kind of says anything, kind of whatever. I'm pretty sure this is the first time you'll notice it, and you'll see it throughout the entire movie. She has a Band-Aid on the tip of a finger on her left hand. It is never explained. It is never mentioned. I don't know if that's just because Nancy Travis herself
with a knife.
But I mean, then I feel like there could have been something mentioned. Why does she? I mean, the movie takes place over months, and she still has this Band-Aid on the entire time. Very strange, but something I noticed. This
it could be like
around.
a Lisa Left Eye Lopez type, or a Nelly type.
Nelly,
thing.
exactly. Yeah, could be
vanity Band-Aid.
So Charlie's here to pick up a haggis because he's going over to his parents' house for dinner, and he's going to bring it as like a gift or whatever. And so so he buys the haggis, and then we cut to his parents' house. Looks like maybe they live out in like the Sunset or somewhere near like Balboa Park, like that kind of part. That
beautiful house would be $3.5 million today.
Absolutely, multi-million dollars for a house like that in San Francisco. But there's an area. There are areas of SF, if you're not familiar with San Francisco, that are very much look like suburbs. The actual downtown is still off in the distance, but like you're just in a flat streets of rows of houses, and that's kind of what it looks like. So they're there, and we meet the parents. We meet Stuart McKenzie, played also by Mike Myers.
Mm-hmm.
We meet I can't remember, May McKenzie is his mother, played by the late Brenda Fricker, R.I.P. Brenda. She passed recently.
Pigeon Lady in Home Alone 2.
Pigeon Lady in Home Alone 2, and a handful of other really great roles, actually. Good stuff. And for some reason, Tony's already there, which I always think is a little strange, right? Because it's obviously like he's been invited over as well. And clearly, I think the idea is Charlie and Tony like grew up together, right? So like he's practically at home, right, at the Mackenzies. So
you could picture Tony drinking milk straight from the carton out of Charlie's parents' fridge
and getting yelled at for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Tony's exactly who I think of when I think
a class.
When I think of the San Francisco in the 80s and 90s. It's this guy.
If this was about Tony's parents, it might have been more authentic. One thing I do want to say, I don't know if this counts, but I feel like Mike Myers' haircut throughout this entire film, very pumpkin pie minus a slice. He has a pumpkin pie haircut with one slice taken out.
Because the part does help the extreme pumpkin piness, but you're not wrong. It's got he is a bit of a.
It's a very specific. Mike Myers had the look of a little boy. He still does. Like he has gray hair now, and he looks like a little boy with gray hair.
It's wild. He still looks like Simon sitting in that bathtub.
I have one make it look like an accident type line here coming out of Charlie's dad, where he's talking about like, they're gonna watch the Celtic game, I think, right?
Yeah.
And he says the soccer game's about to begin. Would he say soccer?
He would not. Indeed.
Probably not.
No,
but they had to change this for American audiences.
Exactly. He would have said football or footy or something like that. Yeah, or even just the match. Like the match is about to begin is also like potentially. Yeah.
The house is funny. They have like a Scottish wall of fame. They have all these black and white photos of famous Scottish people, and it's not just like family members of note. It's like Sean Connery,
like Richard Attenborough, I think is up there or something like that. Yeah. And there's a great line here too when Tony and Stuart are chatting, whatever, and Tony's like, so you were telling me about this group of people that runs the world, and he goes, that's right, they're called the Pentaverate. And he's like, well, who's in this Pentaverate? He's like, the Queen, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, the Vaticans, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up. And it's just a very funny thing. It's probably going to be the opening scene. It's a funny character trait for his parents that they're both like Weekly World News obsessed, theorists. Like National Enquirer. And this is like that Weekly World News. I think it still exists, but it was always like crazy shit. The most like pre-Photoshop. So it was someone with an X-Acto knife who was making these versions of like these weird hybrids and stuff. The InfoWars of the 90s was definitely what the parents were into. Yeah, the sad part about this is that May and Stewart would be huge Fox News people if this all moved 30 years into the future.
Oh, for sure.
They would be major Fox News types.
And May was talking about how she's not eating because she's losing weight with Garth Brooks's juice diet. So
she's about the juice diet.
Shout out to suspected serial killer Garth Brooks. That's speaking of Weekly World News.
That's right. Yeah. So May gets the paper for Charlie, and she's talking, which is the Weekly World News, and she's talking about this Mrs. X. It's like, oh, look at this Mrs. X. And it lists 3 women. Mrs. X apparently is this unknown killer who marries men and then kills them like on their wedding night or at least on their honeymoon, like very, very quickly. And it mentions what the information we get right now is her first husband was a lounge singer in Atlantic City. Another was a Russian martial arts expert. That was how they put it. Mm-hmm. And the last is a plumber named Ralph Elliott. So those are the pieces of information. And of course, Charlie's like, I don't give a shit about this, Mom. That's the Weekly World News. Who cares?
Yeah.
And so they have, and this is then the scene as well when I think most people recognize some of the stuff that Stewart says to the other son, whose name escapes me now, but he calls him Head.
I think in the credits he is literally listed as Heed.
Heed, paper.
Yeah, so that's definitely funny. Man. And this poor little like Screech Powers looking kid with curly hair and a big head, and the dad's just endlessly tormenting him.
Another Dazed and Confused reference, because he looks exactly like the redheaded girl from Dazed and Confused that like drives around with the nerds. Like she's got this big puff of red hair. He looks exactly like her, except not as red of hair. And that just came to me. Anyway, and then we get the like, this kid will be crying himself to sleep tonight on his huge pillow or whatever, like all that kind of stuff. And it's so funny here because Anthony LaPaglia clearly couldn't do a take without busting up. Now, it makes sense that Tony, the character, laughs, but the way Anthony LaPaglia...
It looked like a real laugh,
He looks like he's trying to stifle it and failing, and I think they just went with, we need to move on. Like, you're not getting this without laughing at the stuff Mike's saying, so let's just move on. But it works, because Tony laughing at it works in character, so it's fine, but it does look like it was more of a struggle than that.
Okay, so the dad is hammered, right? And and the mom wants to fuck Tony, basically.
Yes,
so and she's showing in the Weekly World News. This is kind of funny, is like the headline of it is like pregnant man gives birth.
Junior.
Impossible. And so as they're leaving, as Charlie and Tony are leaving, his mom, May, just grabs Tony and just gives him this like ridiculous kiss that lasts forever, right? And her hands are all over him. So we got the horned up mom, we get the drunk dad, we got a lot of good stuff.
I believe she calls him a right sexy bastard.
That's right.
So now we cut to another day. We're at work with Tony now. He's a cop, and so he's there at work, and his boss is Alan Arkin, who plays, I think, the captain, right? He refers to him as captain. And one of the things that we get is Alan Arkin is playing a very Alan Arkin role in this. I feel like Alan Arkin often plays emotionally intelligent, sensitive characters, often therapists. Like this is a thing that he kind of, a milieu he rides in or has, in his career. And Tony's kind of like, oh, Captain, being a cop's not what I thought it would be. I thought I'd be, like chasing a guy, chasing a criminal through a crowded city square, whatever. And Alan Arkin's like, we have to do paperwork. It's a very important part of our job. It's, it might be boring, but it's like, and he goes, that's the other thing, Captain. You're too nice. He's like, I'm too nice. Like it's this whole kind of subplot of Tony wishing his life was more like Mel Gibson's in Lethal Weapon, basically, like or Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop, right?
Totally.
Like that's what he wants, and he doesn't get it.
And the Alan Arkin, it is funny that it's such a contrast to the Bill Duke, CCH founder, police chief character that we see all the time. So yeah, he plays that very well.
He really does. Yeah.
He's great in this.
I even love the part where he's like, you should tell me, like you never tell me that you're getting chewed out by the chief. Or he goes, well, Tony, the thing is, I don't answer to a chief. I actually answer to a committee. Some of the members are elected, some are appointed, some are. And he's just going on. It's like, this is what I'm talking about, man. This isn't cool. Like, it's not fun. Like,
I want to be able to tell people about the exciting things about my job. So Charlie is back in the meats of the world.
And this time
store.
it is busy. It's great. Like tons of people in it. Yeah.
And there's one person getting every country's meat. There's not any kind of consistency. And Harriet's all over the place behind the register. This is where Charlie makes a comment. She's like, "Well, do you actually like haggis?" He's like, "No, I don't." He's like, "I actually think that most Scottish food is based on a dare."
That's fair. Yeah, no, honestly, like the black sausage and there's all kinds of horrible stuff out of that part of the world. So he offers help. He mentions his dad's a butcher, which is not actually information we had prior to this, but hey, that works.
Yeah.
So his dad was, was whatever, a butcher. I worked in the shop a lot, so I can help you out. And so she does. And this is when we get this is a point I want to talk about. So when I told my wife Heather, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna watch Story of Mary Mac's Murder." She's like, "Oh, it's so great." And I'm like, "God, I know, I really enjoy this movie." She goes, "Yeah, I love it, and it's got such a great soundtrack." And I was like, "I remember really liking the music in this movie. Like I remember that." But watching it through, I decided I would write down all the music cues, and there are only 3 pop songs on the soundtrack in this. Now there's Stewart sings a version of a song, or there's the Bay City Rollers play and he kind of sings low. But like, as far as like non-diegetic, like we're going to use this for the movie soundtrack, there are 3 songs. We've heard The Laws. There she goes. Here is Big Audio Dynamite. Their song Rush, which was a huge hit. And then there's like one more, and then we hear Laws twice more. Yeah, Two Princesses later. And that's it. And then we get the Laws 2 more times, which is interesting. But that's the montage song for this segment when Charlie is helping Harriet out, and they're flirting, but he is, being very helpful, but also playing around. And he's like,
he's being wild and goofy with the meats and stuff.
Doing like pounding the meat and making moo noises. And like, all that kind of stuff. Very, very strange, but very Mike Myers.
Being very Mike Myers, for sure. Good gag. I always like the karate chop massage. It's a good gag and an actual good massage move. If you're giving someone a massage like around their neck and shoulders, that does work very well.
It was the first massage technique that we taught either of our kids. So like my daughter, who's 8, is awesome. She walks up behind you, sitting in a chair, and she's just the right height where she starts chopping on my shoulders, and like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
The best.
She's getting really good at
it. So Charlie and Harriet, like they're hanging out. They're having a great things time. Are going well. They're having a blast together. She loves his shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that's the thing. She's really buying all his
jokes, man.
She's into it.
She's like, "Oh, we're so busy," and she looks back and he's like doing the Benny and June thing with 2 filet mignons on forks and dancing them around. And she's like, "Oh, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life."
I liked, but it would be very much a health code violation. But I did enjoy the part where he had some, I don't know if it was awful or if it was trimmings or something he was going to throw away anyway. But it was like this kind of bloody looking meat that's been chopped up and whatever. And he's got it in his sleeve. And he goes up to a customer and he's like, Mom, call the school nurse. There was an accident in the wood shop. Call this. I think that's funny as hell. But like the actual reality of it is like that poor woman is now traumatized. She's never coming back to that store. And whatever that is, you can't sell it. Now, I don't know if it was, like I said, it might have just been trimmings that were going into the trash, but like, that's like a health code violation, really.
Sure. And as a new employee of a butcher shop, save the goofing.
To be fair, I don't think he was being paid, at least not in cash. They do end up after this, they like go out on a little bit of like a date. They end up at the Palace of Fine Arts, which is a great location in SF.
Yep.
Not probably anywhere near where her butcher shop is, by the way, because it's sort of out.
Yeah, I was
Golden
trying
Gate
to
Park
make
the
geography work.
It doesn't work great. But they pass by some Russian sailors. An interesting,
because in the U.S. there's always like other countries' uniformed military walking around.
What was that about?
That was really fucking.
And
bizarre.
again, if you know where this location in SF is, it is as far from water basically as you can get. It's kind of in the center geographically of the city. But anyway, they say something in Russian, and she turns and says something in Russian back to them. So we don't know what it is. At least the version I looked at didn't have subtitles or anything. Yeah. So it's just meant to be. Doesn't matter what she says. She speaks Russian fluently, right?
Yep.
And he notices, like, you speak Russian or whatever. And so, but they, it doesn't really go anywhere there. And they kind of like, there's like dancing and frolicking. It's just kind of like very, fun, I guess. It's like kind of thing. And they go back to her place.
Yes.
And we got to talk about the absolutely this is more insane than the Sneakers Loft.
This place is nuts. Because at least the Sneakers Loft, they theoretically have like better sources of income,
like a business that they're running out of it. This is supposedly Harry. This is the funny part. We learned. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Just this one piece. We will meet Harriet's sister Rose later, and she says something about this is our place, Harriet's and mine. She comes and goes, but she always ends up back here. So that to me reads that they own it.
Right.
What the fuck? Like even SF in like the 80s or 90s, it's not like it was a cheap place to live.
No, not
you know
at
what I mean?
all.
So this place looks like it is 3,000 square feet. It's 2 levels.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a big like warehouse loft type thing. It's decorated impeccably. It's amazing. It's one of the most cool looking homes in like any movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It does have
it could be the coffee shop. Like it's a cool enough place that like it could be a public space for people to hang.
And like I've known people who are like very good like interior decorators for their own homes and spaces, and they have a lot of stuff. You go over to somebody's house sometimes and it's like bare walls. And you're like, whoa. Other places it's like people really curated like a whole look, and still this place is like TGI Fridays level amount of shit on the walls, like really fucking wild, but all like pretty cool. Like all that 15-foot tall poster of Atlantic City is amazing. It really is cool.
That is good. I don't think it was fair of him to make that joke about it.
Honestly, dude, that was dope as shit.
Could have cut that out. That looked cool as fuck. Yeah. No, wonderful place. And, we have the mystery loft, of course. And one thing that Charlie notices is she has like all these martial arts weapons on the wall, and she kind of brushes by. He's like, "What's going on with this?" And she's like, "Oh, my friend gave them to me."
And she said she has a friend who, and then she again uses the exact words, who is a martial arts expert, which I feel like it's a thing that would be said by Frank W. Dukes and not very many other people.
Yeah, like he's a martial science guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies. You're absolutely right. That is my bad. Sorry, Frank, if you're out there listening. But it's just kind of weird that like everybody says martial arts expert, in my opinion. It's odd, but she does brush it off. Yeah. We later learned that these belonged to her ex-husband who is missing, at least. That she doesn't mention. I get that it's like first date, whatever, but that she doesn't say anything, doesn't take this opportunity to be like, you know what? Yeah, that's my ex's. Even just say my ex's stuff.
Yeah.
Even if you don't go into the details, right? Because I get it. You're not trying to scare somebody off. But the fact of the matter is that's your reality. If you're this woman, you have these ex-husbands. They went missing, right? You're going to have this conversation at some point, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just seemed odd to me that she was so dismissive about like, oh, it was a friend stuff. Like, whatever.
You for sure have to fucking... have to disclose that. Like if you're legally like betrothed to somebody who's like the subject of a manhunt, like you have to tell somebody on a first date.
I feel like that's true. It's sort of in the same ballpark as like, you have to declare when a murder occurred in a home, if you're going to sell it, or if you have HIV. So yeah, you definitely have to do all of that. It's very required. So he's going to go, he kind of says something about he usually rushes into this stuff too much. And she's like, well, I want you to stay over and fuck me. So let's do that.
Yep.
So they do.
And they go up and they hump under these sheets that my parents definitely had in the 90s.
So ugly too. They also look a lot like the upholstery that was on every other couch.
Yeah.
Right. At every other friend's house that you would go, you go like, oh, that upholstery again, like same shit. But yeah, then they're sleeping after that, and she is asleep, but yelling out the name Ralph in her sleep, which gets obviously Charlie's attention, and he kind of goes, huh? And then he wakes her up, she wakes up, whatever, and he's like, you said the name Ralph, you were yelling the name Ralph, like who's Ralph? Oh, Ralph, she's my friend. And he goes, oh, she, huh? Oh, she's your friend. Sure. Yeah. Like as if there's a woman named Ralph, right? But they go back to sleep. When he wakes up, Harriet is not in bed there with him. So he gets up and he kind of like, he walks downstairs wearing just like his shirt and his underwear. And he sees there's like a frosted glass window into the shower that you can see from below, which like seems like it has no purpose other than to be titillating,
just to creep
somebody nearby. It's a very strange choice, but there it is. It is frosted. It is, but he sees a figure, a woman showering, and he goes up to like kind of sneak in on her, assuming, I think quite reasonably, that it's Harriet.
Yeah.
A very reasonable assumption. She never mentioned living with anyone else and everything. So, but no, this is Amanda Plummer. This is Rose, who is Harriet's sister. And so, there's a moment where he busts into the shower while she's in it. He screams. She doesn't really react a whole lot.
No, she's pretty fine with it.
She's good.
Yeah.
Like, and then like he gets dressed and goes downstairs, and she's already downstairs then, like having obviously finished her shower and everything. And she says, this is a funny moment. I love this. She says, Harriet left you a note, and she like picks it up out of her like pocket or off the table. I can't remember exactly, but she picks it up, and instead of handing it to it, looks like he's going to hand it to him, and then she unfolds it and starts reading it out loud to him. Like that's the appropriate thing to do. I love that moment for some reason. I think it's very funny.
Yeah, and she says she's going to make him, like chill out. I'll make you this breakfast. I'll make you all this stuff, and then it cuts to her just pouring Fruit Loops in a bowl. She's like, I didn't have any of that other
Silver
stuff.
dollar pancakes, bacon, freshly squeezed orange juice, and then it's like, I don't have any of the other stuff. Like,
yeah,
no, Fruit Loops are good.
And she's being weird to him because what she's saying to him is, "Hey, don't worry. Like, I'm going to tell Harriet that nothing happened," and he's just kind of like,
whoa,
what the fuck? Yeah,
Rose, nothing did happen.
Nothing did happen, and she's just like, yep, wink, wink. He's like, no, like I don't like where this is going.
So this is an interesting character introduction, in my opinion. Like Rose comes off initially as both very aloof and kind of like not bothered by anything, it seems, but then also like, I don't know if it's fair. I mean, obviously, having seen the movie as many times as I have, like I know this character well, but it's like I don't know if it's fair at this point to say she comes off as dangerous, but she definitely comes off
unhinged.
Yeah, for sure. Like that kind of thing. So we get this sense initially that like whatever this woman's story is, it's probably not great.
Right.
Like it's probably not a great thing, whatever's going on with her. So we get just a little bit of that. But then she says, "Don't worry, Charlie, just be careful." And it's like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the part where you're kind of like, you don't know, again, as we know through the movie, like it turns out she's kind of warning him against herself in some ways, but at this point, it's like, well, what is that about? Is this, but again, I'm getting ahead of things, but this movie does a lot of things really well from a very high level plot scenario, like dropping things early, paying them off later, like that stuff works a lot. It's not without holes, don't get me wrong, but like this is one of those moments where they're really between yelling Ralph, the martial arts stuff, Rose saying be careful, like we are hammering home that Charlie should be fearful of Harriet.
Yeah.
Right? That maybe Harriet is Mrs. X. So I love anytime a movie gives the audience more information than it gives the characters. I love being ahead of the characters and like begging them to catch up, and sort of like wanting them to get where I am. That to me is sort of what I love best. It's great sometimes when movies don't give the audience the info and then we all find out at the same time as the characters. Well, that can be good.
Right.
But there's something about the dramatic irony of like, knowing that the character or at least suspecting before the character suspects something, knowing something before the character knows it, and then realizing like, oh man, when they get there, they're gonna freak the fuck out. When they get where I'm at, it's gonna freak them out. So
the whole feeling of like, don't go in there, like all that. He's right behind you, like the for
guy's
sure.
In the barn, don't go in the barn. Like,
So that leaves us on like kind of a weird moment, right?
Yes.
So now we got one of our other great songs. We got two princes playing as Charlie and Tony are heading out towards Alcatraz. Right?
I gotta ask you, honest opinion about this song and Spin Doctors in general. What is like?
I enjoy it.
Okay.
I think I could fuck with it. It doesn't bother me.
Spin Doctors were a guilty pleasure for me in the 90s. I'm no longer feel guilty about it. I think both Two Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong are fucking bangers. They put a smile on my face. Like they are so nostalgic. Both those songs got played in so many different movies and so many different. We would hear them on the radio all the time. There is something about if I want to think about what life felt like in the mid 90s. Throw on some fucking Spin Doctors. Pocket Full of Kryptonite. Just put the album on. It's not, it's bubblegummy kind of, there's nothing deep or meaningful about the music per se, but it's so fun.
Fucking been a whole lot easier since the bitch left town. I fuck with the Spin Doctors. Absolutely. They're like a little below the Counting Crows on my hierarchy, but we're all in there. And there are things that were formerly guilty pleasures. And like you said, the guilt dissolves with time and you're like, no, that's just a pleasure. Homie.
And there was stuff that I thought I hated back then for some dumb reason, and then ended up like I thought for some reason in high school I hated Toad the Wet Sprocket.
Yeah,
I do not hate Toad the Wet Sprocket. Their music's fantastic. Like I love it now. But
nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're gonna do Drop Zone someday, and I think they feature Fall Down in that.
Nice.
It's a skydiving movie.
All right, very cool. And we'll have to do Son-in-Law in order to get Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
There we go. So Charlie and Tony are on the boat.
Right.
They're going to do the Alcatraz tour, and I think we're kind of shown early on that this is like one of the things they do frequently. Because
Yes.
they're kind of talking about like, oh, what guide do we get today and stuff. So this is like where they go to just hang out and bullshit.
Which, like, I think I've been on 2 Alcatraz tours in my entire life.
Yeah,
46 years living in the Bay Area. Maybe once was with Boy Scouts and then like one other time. I don't remember. But like, this is not something, as far as I'm aware, any locals just do on
not
any
at
kind
all.
of basis at all. But apparently Tony and Charlie really just love doing the Alcatraz tour. And it is cool. At least was back then. It's all self-guided now. There's no more, there's no tour guides anymore or anything. It's like those audio, those headset things. But still, like, so they go and they get Phil Hartman's character is their tour guide.
Yep.
And I can't remember his real name, but everybody calls me Vicky.
I think he says, my name is John Johnson. Everybody calls me Vicky.
Everybody here calls me Vicky. I love Vicky. Like, so he does a little tour, gets them to what do they call it? Not Main Street. What do they call it? It's like the Broadway. They call it Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's one of the worst of the worst were, housed. And he tells a story about Machine Gun Kelly. And I won't repeat the whole thing, but basically that like the Machine Gun Kelly had what we in the prison system referred to as a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good little Phil Hartman cameo there. And then while he's talking to it, while he's telling this story, Charlie and Tony are in the front and Charlie's just like, yeah, so anyway, I really like this girl. And then Vicky kind of looks at him like, what the fuck? I'm in the middle of my story.
Kind of look, dude,
like
fucking
the
stares
death
daggers.
stare, right?
Yeah, fucking for real.
But how inconsiderate. I mean, I will say Charlie and Tony very inconsiderate throughout this tour to people who haven't been.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
They stop in front of the cell forever to just chit chat.
I mean, really, their actions, second worst interruption of an Alcatraz tour that we've seen on this podcast. Really.
So we've got a montage now with our song again.
We've got There She Goes by the Laws again.
And it's not, I don't know why I thought that was Sixpence None the Richer.
Oh, no, that's
Did they
the Laws,
cover
yeah.
it? Okay.
I don't think so, but
Yeah, I don't know what
I've always
song they
known
did.
it as the Laws, and I don't think it was a Sixpence. If it was a cover, it would have been maybe an older. If there was a version from
Sixpence
this,
was Kiss Me, I think.
that was Kiss
okay,
Me. Yes,
fuck
exactly.
it. So we get a montage, and basically, it's a montage to show that Harriet loves Charlie's shit, and Charlie is being goofy as hell, and her sister's being normal. They're like all hanging
But
out.
present a lot.
She is there
We
a
should
lot for
mention
sure.
that, yeah.
But they're doing stuff together, and Charlie and the sister, it looks like it's not weird between them. He's being pretty normal with her.
Yeah, and it's just it's like the dating montage. This is how we compress time and say, okay, now when we come out of this, audience accept the fact that they're like a full couple. They're definitely not dating other people or whatever. They're like together, right? That's sort of what we're getting. And we cut then to Fog City Diner, which unfortunately closed several years ago, but was a very cool place right there on Embarcadero.
Yep.
And it is now Charlie and Harriet and Tony, and I don't know if we get Tony's girlfriend's name, but she is played by Debbie Mazar, who we've seen before. She was in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Somebody who I just love as a character actress. And they're doing like a Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Right? Like freaked out kind of, would you rather this crazy thing happen or this crazy thing happen, And they've all got very kind of creative, but like gross things. And then we cut to Debbie Mazar's character and they're just like, and it's her cue. And she says, or would you rather be electrocuted?
Yeah.
And they're all kind of like, and it's like, no, that's it. That's like really scary. I was electrocuted once. Which I think is very funny, but it doesn't land with any of the characters.
Right. No, and this is such a common character is the outside party who is not good at playing the thing, like goofing around the way that you and your friends like to, and definitely stands out from it.
They don't speak the language.
Good thing you're hot, Debbie Mazar. And we get a couple more hellos in this scene, I think.
Well, we get the negatory good buddy. Tony and Charlie fight over the check.
That's right.
It's like, I'm gonna pay the check.
Yeah.
He's like, no, negatory good buddy, negatory, that kind of stuff. And then Harriet takes the check and she pays apparently. So,
and Harriet and Charlie decide they're gonna walk home together,
right.
and
in
it's
the
pouring rain,
right? Like more than it generally. Even when it rains in our area, it doesn't tend to pour like that.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's really crazy.
And it's definitely showing their relationship solidifying, and hey, I'm willing to put up with your jokes, so of course I'm willing to go out in the rain to walk home with you.
It was her idea.
Yeah,
she's the one who wanted to walk, and he said, like, I love that you wanted to walk home in the rain. And, all right, and then I think we cut to Tony. Back to Tony. No, sorry, nope. Back at their house, back at the Mackenzies.
Yes.
Another scene, dinner at Mackenzie's. This time Harriet is coming over to meet the parents. May answers the door and come on in and hugs Harriet and you're so beautiful, like whatever. And then Stuart comes down without his pants, without his trousers, and goes to tap Harriet on the shoulder or something. And she full on judo, kind of grabs his arm and twists it behind his back. And, he's, I like this one, Charlie. But yeah, so then one of the funniest moments in this to me. So May offers to show Harriet the baby pictures of Charlie, right? And he goes to excuse himself to use the bathroom, I think, right? And my favorite moment in this is that there's a dartboard on the back of the bathroom door with Queen Elizabeth II's picture on it, which I just think I love the idea of Stuart taking a crap
just
and throwing darts
at the Queen.
Very funny. Very funny.
And Charlie in the bathroom finds that Weekly World News, which is kind of open to the article about the serial killer that his mom had told him about. Yep. And he's looking at it, so he's making the realization, axe murderer, you get a plumber in New Jersey or whatever, Russian martial arts guy, Atlantic City lounge singer. Yep. So he's getting very suspicious because he's like, okay, these are all the exact places she's lived.
We've seen clues of the Atlantic City thing. We've seen the Russian, she's spoken Russian, the martial arts stuff. Someone named Ralph, she's yelling out the name of, right? Yep. There's all kinds of things. I think she maybe even mentioned the song because he takes that paper then to Tony. After dinner's done, it's the next day, whatever. He goes to Tony at the police station and he's telling him, Tony, you got to look into this for me. Look into this Mrs. X thing. And he goes, fucking Charlie, this is the Weekly World News. What are you talking about? Yeah. And he's like, no, but look at all these things. And he's pointing out all this stuff. And he says something about where, the lounge singer was famous or something for his cover of Only You or something like that. And Tony goes, does she even know the words to Only You? And he's like, I don't know if she knows, but he just really wants Tony to look into it.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Charlie, this is a good moment of the time where Charlie is he's at Harriet's, I think, and he's watching A Current Affair. And I remember as a kid thinking that was so compelling, even though I didn't know what they were ever talking about. But just the way that triangle goes flies at you, right? Good ass sound. And then he's using the Thigh Master.
Yes, he is. The Suzanne Summers Thigh Master.
We have a Thigh Master at our house. Yeah. My wife has one. She's had it for a long time. One time when we were dating, we didn't live together yet. My daughter and I went by her house to feed her cats and stuff. Yeah. And she was out of town. And the Thigh Master was there. And Ren was 3 years old. She's like, what is this? I'm like, oh, you put it between your legs and you squeeze it. And I have this video of her struggling so hard. She's so mad at this thing. She's trying to squeeze the Thigh Master.
It doesn't work. This was broken.
So I love seeing the Thigh Master.
Very good stuff.
But one of the things he's seeing on A Current Affair is that poisoning murders are on the rise.
And it's always people right? It's people inside the family, people you live with, people you trust. And poisoning is becoming very important. So of course, this is the point where Harriet comes in with a drink that she says is a health shake, and she spent half an hour making. But it looks like Hawaiian Punch with frothy foam on top. It's very weird. It's a little frothy on top, but it looks clear, kind of reddish pinkish. Yeah. Does not look like a shake of any kind.
You should have said juice or something.
Maybe, yeah. And maybe that was the idea because we got the juicer. The mom had a juicer, so maybe it was a juicing thing. But to call it a health shake, I was looking at it going, it's not even blended with ice. There's nothing here that's giving it any texture at all. Yeah. This just looks like, you know what it really looked like to me? You're old enough now. You've had a colonoscopy, right? Yeah. You know that shit you got to drink ahead of time the day before? Yeah, that's what it fucking looked like to me. So I also would not have drinking that shit, Charlie.
Maybe that's what she wanted. It's pretty convenient if you're Scottish and you get a colonoscopy. You just have the kilt on. You don't really need to pull the pants up and down.
Is that convenient or is that worse somehow? It might be worse.
Might be worse. So he doesn't want to touch this because he's just been freaked out by the Current Affair thing. He's like, get this away. No, sorry, I can't shit. And she's saying, well, I spent a lot of time making this. I made this for you. What's going on? What's happening? And then he finally just goes and hides in the closet. She's just like, all right, whatever, dude. Fuck you. She leaves. And then there's a good gag of the closet collapsing on him, which I always like to see that.
It's always funny when there's more shit coming from above what you can see in the closet than could possibly be in any number of shelves above there.
Exactly. It's a vaulted ceiling closet to be able to hold all that stuff. It's a
skylight three floors up. And it's
there's a dump truck on the roof just pouring stuff into it.
Exactly. But then so they go to bed and she's kind of like, I'm so sorry. It's not a big deal that you didn't want to drink my shake. It's okay. And then she was saying stuff I just feel so comfortable with you and I trust you so much. And I'm so glad that we're so comfortable with each other. I mean, boy, if you think about it, we sleep next to each other and I could do anything to you. And it's and this is one of the scenes, one of the moments in the movie that really doesn't work for me because this is a woman who, let's just lay it all out. She is not a killer. She has had 3 husbands disappear on her mysteriously on her honeymoon. Mm-hmm. she must be aware in some way that that is something other people would think is strange. She doesn't talk about it openly. So it's like a source of either guilt or shame or something, right? There's that. And why would she talk about this? Like, this feels like very, you're gonna get people thinking you're a fucking killer if you talk shit like this. Like, it's just a little strange. I feel like somebody in her position would feel that much more guarded and sort of like unwilling to sort of just say shit like this. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it does seem like she would have to know all this stuff. She would have to know that it's really fucking with them. Otherwise, it's a weirdly like clueless thing to say.
Exactly.
So we're at the San Francisco Globe.
Right.
I like the fake newspapers. It's good.
It clearly the font or the text is all very Chronicle. Yes. Right. It's clearly the Chronicle. Yeah.
And we're at the marriage's desk.
Yeah, it's like the announcements basically. And so he's putting
Charlie's going to go make an announcement, right? Because they're
for his parents' 30th anniversary. I think.
Yeah, the parents have an anniversary party coming up.
Just like not a thing. I mean, that's not a thing anybody does anymore, I assume. I didn't really realize that was a thing before, announcing anniversary. Like, I guess I know there's marriage announcements. Obviously, there's obituaries, like maybe even births potentially. Right. But like an anniversary is like a weird thing. It's not like you're inviting the public to their anniversary party. Like,
yeah, I know it's odd, but it's probably one of those things. His parents are big newspaper clipping people.
Well, that's true.
So it's probably important for them to have something really to cut out.
Yeah, May could cut it out and put it on the fridge. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. While he's there, he overhears a couple of the workers there who are kind of talking back and forth about one of these cases, right? And one of them played by Michael Richards.
That's right.
And who's the other guy?
I don't remember his name, but he was like the landlord, not the landlord, the superintendent on Friends that was always like fixing stuff for Rachel and Monica. Okay. He was like that guy. He's been in a ton of movies that we've seen, and then others. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those character actor guys that was in everything in the 80s and 90s. It felt like.
And Charlie's trying to get some info from them, but they keep Michael Richards keeps assuming that he's just offended at what he overheard him say,
because he was talking about how like the Ralph Elliott died, like because Ralph Elliott went missing, but then they found out like no, he died and he was found in a like sewage drain pipe or whatever, and he goes, well, you take your work, he was a plumber, you take your work home, and that's what happens, kind of thing. And somebody who isn't Charlie says like, hey, that's somebody's like family, like you should be nicer. And he goes, no, wait, did they say anything about the wife? And he goes, no, I get it, kid, I get it, pal, like whatever, I'm sorry, I was being offensive. No, did they say anything about the wife? Look, I'm sorry that I said. And, he's like freaking out, and like Kramer, whatever, Michael just walks away, like, oh, look at me, I'm the insensitive guy.
It's funny.
Laugh at me.
If you guys, it's a really funny scene. If you guys look up Michael Richards' offensive joke tirade on YouTube, I think this will be the first thing that pops up.
This will be the first hit.
You're gonna love it.
Don't go to the second page though, because boy, it's gonna get real dark real fast. But yeah, this would definitely be the first thing. It's this and the fire hose scene from UHF.
Yeah. So more stuff happening. He's like, what the fuck's going on? He's with Harriet now in front of the painted ladies. We get some good SF like landmarks here.
Alamo Square Park.
Yeah. And I think he's just at this point, she's like, he's being too weird. He's being too suspicious. He's freaking her out. And she's just like, whatever, dude, I'm done.
Well, he dumps her. Yeah. I mean, he basically says like, well, I don't think we should see each other anymore. And she's like, why? And he's just like, I don't think we should see each other anymore. And that's it.
Fucking blowing it.
But he's, she's pissed at him, rightfully. But the end. And
if Charlie if he didn't work for free part-time at the butcher shop, what does he do? Like, do we ever get a glimpse of like Charlie? Really he's not an architect. No, he's not anything. Is he just a professional, like unlit cigarette beat poet? Like, I don't think that pays well.
I don't think so. I don't think it does. But you're absolutely right. I don't think we get any indication whatsoever. He drives a beautiful classic convertible. Right. He's his parents are clearly wealthy. I mean, if he'd inherited the butcher shop, he would have said that instead of just my dad was a butcher and I worked in his shop sometimes. He would have said that differently. So yeah, we don't get really any indication, I don't think, of what Charlie McKenzie does for a living.
Yeah.
Like, why does he have money at all? It's really kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We never see his apartment either. I
think we see it for like 1 second, but it's it's super short because I was looking for it too.
Right. I remember. And it has a great view if I remember. He's like in North Beach.
It's a beautiful place.
It's like a beautiful North Beach. Like he's on the roof and he's like a third floor, like North Beach apartment.
Fucking asshole. Crazy, dude. So now we've got another poetry performance,
Yep.
right? So now that he and Harriet have broken up, Charlie and Harriet have broken up,
Yep.
so we get the next woman, woe man performance, and it's got Harriet's picture in the background.
And the big difference was when he did the one about Sherry, I think was his ex at the beginning of the movie. He's got this little candle in like a votive, like a glass votive holder thing, and he blows it out at the end of the poem. And with the Harriet poem, he picks that up and puts it in front of his face, but does not blow it out and then puts it back down, which I think is, he's not 100% sure that the flame is gone.
Okay.
Right. So that's our little signal there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And so Tony calls.
Yeah.
Right. And Tony tells Charlie that someone had confessed to this
the murder of Ralph Elliott. Yep.
So it's like, well, it's not Harriet. Like we found somebody.
Exactly.
Somebody
like
confessed to that.
Right. And I think even there's something about they even hinted that there were others.
Yes.
Like he says that, right? So it's like they're going to talk about that. So Charlie goes running back to Harriet, basically, like to her apartment, like, Harriet, I'm so sorry, whatever. And she's like, you blew it. No, leave.
Yeah.
And so he does like, a movie trope. It's not something that doesn't happen often in movies, but would never really happen in real life.
Right.
But he gets that jazz trio from Rhodes Cafe out to like near her window and does, the live poetry version of John Cusack standing on Ione Sky's lawn with his boombox and say anything. But yeah, like, she takes him back after his, heartfelt little beat poem.
It's fucking crazy that after him, like, just blowing that whole relationship, he's able to win her back by showcasing his most annoying hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It really. Hey, what's the thing about me that all your friends say? Geez, if it weren't for that one thing, he'd be cool.
Yeah, right. If I was more impressionable, maybe if I was a little older when I first saw this or something, I would have thought that being like a beat poet really would have gotten the girls. And I'm glad I never got that idea because it's definitely wrong. So.
It's called a beat poet because you're always beating off. So Charlie and Harriet, we're back together, and it didn't take much to convince her. I mean, she really just that poem, and now they're back sharing a bathtub again.
That's right. Yeah,
and he's being fucking annoying in the bathtub.
But then like the doorbell rings, I think, right? And so Harriet like goes downstairs or something, whatever. He comes downstairs in a towel, and Harriet, wearing like a bathrobe or whatever, is introducing him to a woman who I swear in the past I thought was Linda Hamilton.
I had this down to look up because when we were watching it, Jeannie's like, she's like, that's the chick. Remember in T2, they're in credited, Linda Hamilton has a sister who's also in that. And Jeannie was like, that was like her.
Could be Linda Hamilton's sister. Yes.
And I thought so too, but it wasn't.
It is not correct. It is somebody who I don't think really was in very many other movies, whoever they are, but it's Ralph.
Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, look, this is my friend Ralph. And he's like, oh my God, there is a woman named Ralph. This explains, in addition to the fact that somebody else has confessed to the murder of Ralph Elliott, there is now also an explanation for Harriet yelling Ralph. This is great. This is like, it's sort of I thought everything was terrible. This is now continuing to prove to me that nope, I had it wrong before. This is actually awesome. Nothing's wrong. Woohoo. This is perfect.
Yeah. Yes. And this is really, really exciting. And there's kind of a fun moment there where he's like, I'm naked, aren't I? He goes to hug her and his towel drops and he's like, I'm naked, aren't I? Like, yeah. And he like still holds the hug and everything, plays that off. He's really charming these ladies.
Oh my gosh.
Now we're at his parents' 30th anniversary dinner, which is at a restaurant called Cock of the North, which I enjoy.
Love that. It's a great name. Cock of the North.
And at this restaurant, at this party, it ends up that Charlie asks Harriet to marry him.
He proposes.
There's too much romance in the air.
And she's super kind of nervous about that at first, does not give him an answer right away. It's kind of like, oh, are you sure? Whatever. But then like Stuart, like his dad basically gives like a speech about how thankful he is that Charlie threw this party and I wish for you 30 years like I've had and like all this stuff, whatever. And it's very like, it's very sweet, very heartfelt, whatever. And Harriet turns to Charlie and says, yes, like I'll marry you. And so that's super exciting. We cut quickly to their wedding, right? So it's in a church. One side, the Mackenzie side, is filled with a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
Harriet's side, not so much.
Yeah.
Apparently she has no other family because Rose is her maid of honor, but the next person sitting like in the front of her side is Ralph. Like the woman that we just met. And then there's a few other people, but it doesn't look like she has like parents there or anything. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. So yeah, there's like 20 people on her side and like 200 on Charlie's side, which I find is kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely Scottish forward. This wedding there. And when she's it's her turn to say I do, Harriet, there's a very long delay, but she does say it eventually. And then at the reception, we've got Charlie's dad dancing along with a guy who's playing like cheetah pattern bagpipes. I've never seen bagpipes that had this like.
It's very interesting.
They're like Guy Fieri's bagpipes.
They're the hipper, cooler bagpipes.
And he's playing "If You Think I'm Sexy" by Rod Stewart, which goes on for a long time.
That's right.
And then Harriet makes a request to sing a song.
Oh, that's right. She wants to sing a song to Charlie, very special, and it's Only You. So now we've gotten
Charlie's very relaxed before this song. He feels good about stuff.
As an audience, we get Charlie's in danger, Charlie's in danger, Charlie's in danger, a turn. Oh, no. It's okay. And then now this is the first sort of tip back the other direction. Wait, so she does know the lyrics to Only You.
Yeah.
Like, that was a question early on, and that's interesting.
And it's not the Only You by 112 featuring Biggie Smalls and Mace. That actually didn't come out till a few years later. It's a lesser Only You that she was singing.
Very old and lame.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then this was a funny thing because I know, just because I've seen the movie a lot of it, that the exterior shots of this place they're going for their honeymoon, this resort, whatever, those exterior shots were shot at the Claremont in Berkeley. In the hills, right? So, however, they used matte backgrounds to change what the area around it looks like. So you don't see like downtown Berkeley, it looks like they're out in the woods or whatever. But I remember thinking that, oh my God, wait, they're driving across the Golden Gate Bridge to the north. Here's another chance for me to be a pedantic asshole about the geography of the Bay Area. No, it's totally legit because they drive north over the Golden Gate Bridge. It's the appropriate shot. They're driving along the coast with the water on their left. That's appropriate because they're driving north. And then it's a fictional place that they arrive. So it's like there's no geography bullshit that I can call out, unfortunately, because at first I thought I really was going to fucking nail these assholes. Oh, man,
it would have been so good.
No, they were smart to use a fictional location. So.
And this area that they're going is called Poets Corner.
There you go. That's right. Yeah.
And
which I think is the name of a neighborhood in Pleasant Hill. With particularly bad crime rates.
I totally remember that because back when I was house shopping in bad crime neighborhoods, that was definitely one on my. It's probably great. It's probably $2 million houses now.
Now, sure.
But I fully said when we were watching this, I said to Jeannie, "Oh, they're going to Pleasant Hill." She's like, "What?" And again, they're going to a place that's themed after his most annoying hobby. It'd be like someone saying, "Hey, let's go to the Fantasy Football World Resort for our honeymoon."
It's called Stadium Swim in Vegas. That's what that's called.
And Charlie, like you mentioned it before, but he has the classic cinema bad convertible, the bad version of a good convertible.
Right. It's like old and kind of dirty and kind of shitty looking, but it's also like it's a classic. It's like, yeah, exactly.
It could get one montage. You buff that thing up. Yeah. You can pay for the entire wedding.
Yeah.
So Tony is still suspicious.
Well, no, Tony.
Right?
No. What happens is Captain Alan Arkin busts in on Tony into his office or whatever, and is like, and he's doing the tough act that Tony wants. I'm like, you fucked up again. If I don't, and like all this kind of stuff. And he says, Captain, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, that woman that confessed to the Ralph Elliott murder. She confessed to a few more murders. He goes, I knew she would. Yeah, she confessed to the murders of like Abraham Lincoln and Julius Caesar, whatever. And it's like, oh fuck, like so she's a nut. So she did not kill Ralph. So this gets Tony freaked out because now he is worried about, because he and Charlie shared a moment when at the wedding when she sang Only You, they shared a little look like, oh damn, that's kind of shitty.
We're back below 100% again.
Exactly, right. We're back at 98, 99. Now Tony's at like 80%. Now he's worried because it's like, shit, maybe she did kill Ralph. And so he decides he needs to get up to where they are, but he goes to call. And this is a weird thing that happened. I don't know if this works from like the way telephone systems work. He couldn't call up to Poets Corner because of a storm. There was something about getting his phone call from San Francisco to, let's call it, I don't know, Sea Ranch or something. It's somewhere up like the Sonoma coast, right? So he couldn't call. So he fucking gets a plane like to fly him up there.
Yeah.
And it's Stephen Wright, the comedian, very funny, deadpan comedian, is the pilot.
Good to see Stephen Wright.
Absolutely. Nice. And then it's like when they land, he is able to call. It's something weird. Like why is he able to call from
a payphone once they land? Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I think I skipped ahead a little there.
But it does allow us though to see Charlie receiving a phone while he's seated at a restaurant, which is a lifelong dream of mine.
That is pretty cool.
I really, and not my own fucking cell phone. I want a wired phone in a tray on a silver tray.
100%. If you are answering your cell phone at a nice at the table at a nice restaurant in the middle of a dining room, you are a fucking asshole.
Yep.
If a waiter or maitre d' brings over a corded phone on a platter and tells you have a call, not only are you allowed to take that call there at the table, everyone else in that room needs to shut the fuck
quiet.
up and let you take that call.
Exactly.
Because clearly you are very important.
And I mean, you're on the border of being able to pull a "Can I have the room, please?" to all the people there at the restaurant.
If you're in one of those back kind of banquet rooms, you can do that. If you're in the main dining room, that's too far. But if you're in one of those back rooms that's open for dining but could be a banquet hall room they could close off, totally within your rights to ask for the room to be cleared for your privacy. But yeah, what I did skip over though was Tony confirming that Harriet was married to all the guys who died. So he like calls, somebody who knew the martial arts guy and was like, oh yeah, and he like sends a picture. Oh yeah, she like lost weight since then, but that's her. And then somebody else was like, oh yeah, she's got her hair's longer now, but that was her. So like he is able to confirm that the lounge singer and Ralph and the martial arts guy, all these people were married to Harriet. And this for Tony is all he needs to be like 100% she is Mrs. X. Charlie's absolutely in danger. Like, this is what's going on. And so now this is when he decides he has to get the plane and get up to Poet's Corner.
And this is kind of like Scatman Crothers making his way to the lodge in The Shining. Like, okay, this is an emergency. Like, I got to get there. I can't just
go now
from there. And there was a quick scene of Harriet, like she had all her makeup and stuff, and she opened a big thing of like powder foundation. And pulled out, it looked like a chain with like 3 different rings attached to it. So it was like,
very
is that
strange.
her old wedding rings that she's keeping
right?
around? So we saw that very quickly.
That's true.
So let's see.
We get the commandeering a vehicle moment.
Yes.
Yeah. So early on, that was one of the things that Tony complained to the captain about, that he hasn't been allowed to do, right? He hasn't chased a criminal across a crowded city square. I've never commandeered a vehicle. And Alan Arkin's like, that does sound like fun, whatever. So he needs to go get this. So he tries to commandeer this vehicle from the airport after landing to get the rest of the way to the hotel. And it's Charles Grodin. And he's like, I need to commandeer this vehicle. And he just goes, no, I know you actually don't have the power to do that. Please.
Charles Grodin was good in this. And then, so at the same time where Charlie and Harriet were at the dinner.
Yeah.
And then there's another couple at the dinner celebrating, 30 years or a big anniversary. So they're doing this creepy thing, which always I see as more of like a Game of Thrones type thing than a modern day thing where it's like the honeymoon chair.
Yeah.
So everyone at the restaurant starts getting all excited to carry them in this chair back to their room so that they can fuck, and everyone can just put a glass up to the door and listen from the
just know that they're banging.
Why are you so interested in this? But Charlie is obviously very uncomfortable with this, but this is happening here, and it's kind of hard to fight.
Tony was able to tell him over the phone, right? Ralph, basically the person who said they killed Ralph was lying. Harriet killed Ralph. Harriet is Mrs. X. This is how Tony puts it, because he's done all this confirmation of who she's married to. He said Harriet is Mrs. X. Tony tells him, there is no doubt, right? This is the case. So now Charlie's freaking out. He is able, once they get into the honeymoon suite or whatever, he is able to like lock her into the closet, I think, or something like that. He locks her in somewhere. Yeah, the closet, I think. But that's when Rose is suddenly there wearing the Patrick Bateman, wearing the poncho, for getting ready to kill fucking, I don't know if that wasn't Jude Law, who was that? Jared Leto, right? That he decided to kill with the the axe and everything. And so she's ready to go. She's got the hatchet. She's got the thing, and she starts attacking Charlie. And now Harriet can see what's happening. Like wherever she is, she's like behind like a glass door or something. And so she's now screaming at Rose. So now Harriet is realizing what's actually happening, as the audience does, as Charlie does. We all get the story at the same time, which is that Rose has been killing Harriet's husband. She even yells at Charlie like, you tried to take her from me. You tried to come between us. So now you're going to die, kind of thing. It's like, holy shit, which is like, I think there was a thing, she said something about you weren't supposed to be in the room, like to Harriet or something like that. There was something, because I'm thinking to myself, this is not particularly sneaky.
Right.
This is not like, how did she get away with this 3 times already? It's very, that's the part that becomes much less kind of believable about
Leaving town used to do a lot more for you, I think.
Just moving from town to town. Pre-internet, that's a big thing. So Charlie's able, I think, to climb out the window, right?
Yep. So Charlie's out the window, and then they're kind of fighting on the roof, and of course, bad weather and everything, and we got some exciting axe handle, like trying to chop his fingers as he's hanging off the roof.
Yep.
Tony is trying to get into the room to save the day. He cannot kick the door open for the life of him.
10 times, 12 times.
This old fucking hotel. Like, it should be easy to police kick a door open in a hotel like that, right?
Yeah.
And so Tony takes like 5 kicks to boot it open.
At least. So many. But he does get in, and of course, then lets Harriet out of the closet. Harriet's like, oh, Tony, good, you're here. Charlie's in danger. And he's like, yeah, I know. And he cuffs her, like, you're under arrest, like all this stuff. And there's a great scene where as Rose, this is one of my favorite part of this, as Rose is up on the roof, like hacking away at Charlie's, where Charlie's hands are, because he's hanging sort of by the awning or whatever. So you can hear the thunk, thunk, thunk of the hatchet going into the roof over and over again. And Harriet's telling Tony, who's like smoking a cigarette, trying to get a confession out of her. He's like, we can do this here. We can do this downtown.
It is funny how he goes into the cops I've seen on TV mode immediately.
Exactly.
Like, he's too juiced up. He got to commandeer a car.
Oh my
There's
God.
no landing that guy's ego.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, he got a ride. Like, he didn't commandeer.
But in his mind, he's a real cop for the first time.
But he's kind of like, she's like, you can hear them. They're on the roof. Like, go save Charlie. He is gonna be killed. Go. Like, and he's like, yeah.
We get a mutual nut shot
yes.
when they're fighting up there on the roof. Well, not really nut, but Rose gets Charlie in the nuts, and then he kicks her in that same area, which she seems to react like it hurt as much.
Which, I'm sure it hurts.
It hurts.
Look, I remember I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I saw a girl get kicked between the legs because some kid said, "Oh, girls don't have anything there. This won't hurt." And that is not true. That is not what happened. That girl got hurt bad, because somebody kicked her. Like, it doesn't matter where you get kicked. Totally. You get kicked hard enough, right? So she reacts. The thing about it is that when Charlie got kicked in the nuts, like, I think they were wrestling over the axe at the time. They both had their hands on the hatchet. If he got kicked in the nuts, there's no way he is maintaining control of that hatchet to keep her from plowing it into his skull at that point, while also keeping his footing on the curved, on a pitched, wet roof. Like, the number of things that he had to simultaneously handle was like, no, getting kicked in the nuts absolutely zeroes out that ledger. Like, you are fucked. Like,
that would be a death blow for sure.
100%. Yeah. You're either getting the axe in the head at that point, or you're falling off the roof 30 feet to the ground and dying that way. Either way.
But Charlie overcomes in the fight and is able to get himself saved. Rose gets taken in.
Yep.
And Rose is arrested.
She doesn't even seem unhappy about it.
No, she's kind of just like, all right, well, this is the next thing I'm doing.
I think it's just like, she was kind of like, well, I was going to get caught at some point.
Yeah.
And it was this time. All right. Like, so that's pretty much it. And we get the third music drop of The Laws, There She Goes, as we kind of roll into the closing credits. There's not really anything else to it.
Yeah, we got a final poem by Charlie.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about the final poem.
So he's got his poem that kind of sums up, a lot of the stuff that happened. It was good. So life continues now.
Yep.
So Charlie and Harriet are married, and they're living off a single butcher shop wage to cover 2 apartments in San Francisco,
including that loft that apparently is half Rose's, and she's not helping out with now. So if there's a mortgage or rent on that, whatever it is, like, I'm sure she was contributing something. Not that we know what she does. Like, we know nobody's jobs in this entire movie except we know Tony's a cop. Harriet owns a butcher shop. Yeah. Stuart was once a butcher.
Yeah.
I don't think we've got a job for anybody else that aren't people that were met in those jobs. You know what I mean? Like the captain and stuff. But that is So I Married an Axe Murderer.
All right.
Okay. So, look, I love this movie. I really do love this movie, but I'm also pretty realistic about this movie. It is not something that is like, this isn't one of those movies that I'm like, oh my God, if you haven't seen this, like, you've got to see it. Like, I love it. I enjoy it. Like I said, a lot of it is shorthand between my wife and I. Negatory, good body. We've got a Piper Dune. Like, these are things that we just like, we'll find ways to like fit into everyday conversation. And that's so much fun. And I'll love that forever. It's a good movie. I do recommend it. I don't think it's one you need to like rush out and see. So with a little nostalgia bump, like I did with Summer Rental, I'm going with a 3.5 out of 5 on So I Married an Axe Murderer. I think it's very enjoyable. But it is not without its flaws, and we've, I think, covered most of those in the last hour or so. So what is your take, Nick, on So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Yeah, I mean, so not having seen this, right? I didn't have the built-in nostalgia and stuff, and with a lot of comedies that I hadn't seen that are from the 80s and 90s, watching them now, like, comedy is tough. Comedy is tough to hold up. This was surrounded by some great Mike Myers stuff. I love Wayne's World. Wayne's World 2 holds up so well. Austin Powers still great. And for some reason, I feel like with Mike Myers is kind of the same to me as Sacha Baron Cohen, where I like him when he's in a costume, but I don't really like him when he's just like being a guy. Yeah. And again, like with what we talked about at the beginning, where the script was not the original script, I think that it could have been better if it was just scrapped. Like, let's take the general outline of it and just redo it, rather than keep trying to like change and rework. Because then it became a kind of a jumbled thing. Like the idea of it's a thriller, but it's a comedy, is interesting, and like the plot ideas. I like the cameos. I liked Alan Arkin. I liked Grodin a lot. I love Charles Grodin, man.
Phil Hartman is great in this.
Phil Hartman, Stephen Wright. We got some really good people in there. Overall, though, a lot of the jokes didn't work that well for me. I didn't like Mike Myers' character. I was not rooting for him in any way. Like we talked about, he doesn't have a job. Like, what does he do? What is he offering this woman except for a very niche type of humor that only she thinks is funny? Because he's not, other than the would you rather scene, he's not like riffing with his buds. It seems like he's more subjecting everybody to his shit than like going along with it.
Fair.
So I wasn't a huge fan of this. I definitely see why people like it, and everyone has told me I'm wrong to not like this movie. But for me, So I Married an Axe Murderer is just a 2 out of 5 for me.
2 out of 5. Right. So it gives us a 5.5 out of 10, which is,
we're there with Rotten Tomatoes.
We are kind of right. Yeah, 5.5. Yes, right there. So so that is how we land on So I Married an Axe Murderer. And Nick, what hilarious comedy are you going to bring to the table next week?
Yeah. So I thought we continued the run of hilarious comedies. No. So I had something different picked, but when I slotted this one in, it was for a couple reasons. We talk sometimes about how many episodes we've done. We're on like 70 something now,
is like
right?
75, I think.
75.
Yep.
And there's certain people that we haven't seen yet who are such big stars of this era. So this movie is it's one of my wife's favorite movies.
Nice.
I've watched it. I really have enjoyed it over the years, and it brings us some people we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
And we're gonna get to see Tom Cruise for the first time.
Big.
We're going to get to see Jack Nicholson for the first time.
Huge.
And bigger than all that, we get to see Kevin Pollak for the first time.
God, I was wondering when we were going to get to Kevin Pollak, man. Does he do any impressions in this one? Because I really love it when he does impressions. All
right. So we are going to watch 1992's courtroom military thriller drama, A Few Good Men.
Yes. I love A Few Good Men. I'm a huge fan. I think this will be the first time we've got an Aaron Sorkin penned screenplay.
Yeah.
This is the first time we'll see Demi Moore, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
First time we'll see Kiefer Sutherland,
Yep.
I think. Probably at least
JT
one or two
Walsh?
more. Maybe. I feel like. No. Executive Decision we didn't do on this podcast.
That's right.
We did that on Cinema 9 because he was in that. That's a good point. Might be the first JT Walsh for us. This is
a wonderful 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon movies. Has Kevin Bacon in it. But it is just like the cast is stacked.
Yes.
And it's such a different kind of movie where it's just like this is script and acting and dialogue as opposed to like a First Blood type thing where it's explosions and grunts, you know?
100%. And we'll get into it obviously next week when we watch it. First of all, yes, thank you so much for bringing it. One of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely excited to talk about it with you next week. And I'm sure you knew this because it says it up front of the movie, but this was a play originally. And a couple of Aaron Sorkin's early movies, Malice, starring Alec Baldwin, was also originally a play. And there is a feel to movies when they're adapted from stage plays, and
100%.
You nailed most of it, right? It's kind of the character dialogue acting core of it really has to land and be really great. And then you'll notice how few locations there really are.
Yeah.
There's I think in this movie 4 or 5 that really dominate kind of everything. And because it's not on stage, they will throw in, other places they go that maybe would have been inferred potentially on stage play. But yeah, it's really cool. So, all right, A Few Good Men next week. That's fantastic. I think you're absolutely right to finally bring us Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson and these other actors. It's like Kevin Pollak, most importantly, of course. So that's what we will watch.
And I think we might have a third mic for that podcast, actually. Not a dad, but since it's one of her favorite movies, she's going to join us for the recording next Wednesday morning when we wake up at 5 a.m. My wife, Jeannie, is going to join us for it.
That's fantastic. I should let you know, though, the episodes have been coming out at 3 a.m. Pacific ever since our buddy Jeff Harrow asked them to be there for his 5 a.m. Central dog walk. So did that for him. So so even earlier, we got to make sure that Jeannie's here at 3 to do that. So cool. Very much looking forward to that as well. That's a wrap. If you like what you hear, please consider heading over to Apple or Spotify and leaving us a 5-star review. It helps new folks find the show. Be sure to check out our website at 2dads1movie.com. That's the number 2 and the number 1. There you can explore the movies we've covered, sign up for our newsletter, The Rewind, which I think Nick has some good shit planned for pretty soon.
Yeah.
And even get sneak previews of upcoming episodes. Once again, this has been So I Married an Axe Murderer, another episode of 2 Dads, 1 Movie. I'm Steve.
And I'm Nick.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Thanks, everyone.